Google has been hit with a record $5 billion fine in Europe over alleged unfair business practices.
Google has engaged in illegal practices to cement its dominant market position in Internet search. It must put an effective end to this conduct within 90 days or face penalty payments.
The European Union says Google broke the rules when it required Android mobile phone manufacturers to pre-install the Google search and browser apps. The European Commission for Competition says that gives Google an unfair advantage. More than 80% of the world's smartphones and personal devices use Google's Android operating system. Google says the free software benefits millions of users.
Android has played a key role in bringing opportunity to millions of people, not just in Europe, but all over the world.
Google said it plans to appeal the decision, which would also require the company to stop preloading its apps and software on phones. That court case, though, could drag on for years. And for more, we're joined by Ryan Eldridge with Nerds on Call. Ryan, is $5 billion too much or too little for this type of violation?
It is just a drop in the bucket for Google. No, I'm just kidding. This is actually pretty serious because the European Union has given them 90 days to comply. They have to take that $5 billion and put it into a holding account, which they cannot touch or profit from in any way until these proceedings are done. And so this dragging on for years is going to take some money out of Google. And the fact that they have to comply with these rules now is also going to take some money out of their coffers. Ultimately, what they're being told to do is they must allow manufacturers to install whatever apps they want. Right now, Google is saying that in order to get access to the Google Play Store, they must install the Google Search app and Google Chrome. And then they get suddenly licensing for the Google Play Store. Well, that's not fair to somebody like DuckDuckGo or another browser, for example, that wants to be on Android phones. If you want to have access to the Google App Store, you have to have these pre-installed on your phone. And so that's not really fair, and that kind of makes a lot of sense. They're also being barred from making payments to manufacturers, to telecoms, to exclusively pre-install the Google apps. In other words, not allowing them to install Bing or any other browsers on the devices. Now, Google's saying they haven't done that practice since 2014, but the antitrust lawyers in Europe say you just can't do it anymore at all now. Even if you've stopped that practice, we just don't want you to ever do it again. And they also want to stop Google from deterring manufacturers from being able to install alternate versions of Android on the phones. Right now, Google is the sole approver of what kind of version of Android operating system can run on phones, and that's 80% of the phones worldwide. So that's pretty huge.
Well, and you say a drop in the bucket, but last year the EU hit Google with a $2.72 billion fine. So again, this is the second time they're fined, consecutively anyway, but this is all about their anti-competitive practices. But some are saying that, you know, they're not considering Apple as a competitor. Do you agree?
Yeah, well, in some cases, if you think about it this way, this is Google's narrative is look, we've created this amazing platform for us to put an operating system on phones all over the world that can do these amazing, great things, and we give it away for free. The only thing we want in exchange for our $11 billion investment in this operating system is for you to just put these 7 apps on the phone along with the operating system. And so from Google's point of view, that sounds like a fair trade. But it's when they start barring other manufacturers from putting their own stuff on the phone or changing the operating system in any way, that's when it becomes unfair. Whereas Apple, they own the entire system. They own the device, they own the operating system, they own the App Store. And of course, they do allow in their App Store different browser versions, different search engines, things like that. So to some extent, they are playing along the rules of the EU. But how aggressive the EU has been towards American tech companies, I would not doubt that Apple is somewhere under investigation or going to get hit with something at some point.
Okay, and 15 seconds, Ryan, could we see this happen in the U.S.?
Absolutely. The FTC has already come out and said they are watching what the EU is doing very closely, and they are considering their own actions. Google has already been under investigation from the FTC here in America before, which went away quietly, and maybe under the new administration, we might see something get revived.
Okay, this won't be the end. All right, Ryan Eldridge with Nerds on Call, always a pleasure. Thank you.